You are not listening to the voice of IWA Flip here on Uncensored Radio. Joining me in studio for our exclusive Trash Talk edition, and boy, is it a lot to cover. IWA Flip and the historic Michael Giuliano. How's it going, fellas?
I'm back, bitches.
Oh man, how could I top that? Yeah, hell yeah. Bring it on back.
Flip, the IWA God has graced us with his presence.
Hey now.
Indeed.
The deity himself is live on air.
Oh man. Well, hey, you know what? The last time we were on there, you knocked him down a notch. You said
yeah, I knocked him down a few pegs.
I heard. I was listening. I wasn't too pleased with the disrespect, the blasphemy that comes from Melvin's mouth.
Hey, anybody's gonna do it, it's me, man. It makes you a better wrestler for that.
Well, we'll talk about that after what you tried to do with the Queen, which it didn't work. What you tried to do.
No, we're gonna get there. Don't worry about all that.
Your feeble attempts to take down the dynasty.
Listen, you guys are one of the better stables, so I got to keep you guys on your toes. It's only right. I got to challenge.
Oh, is that what Melvin calls it? Keeping me on the toes. Okay.
I gotta keep the
Flip. That's what we're calling it now. Okay.
Oh yeah.
At least I know what we're calling it.
I know we'll get to it eventually, but it almost seems like he's trying to chop off your toes.
Yeah, I got to admit, I'm a little perturbed. I'm not too happy with my old friend. I'm really not happy with him right now.
It's all a work. Don't worry, it's all a work, Flip.
Well, what's a work? I have no idea what you two are talking about.
This is gonna be a good one. All right, so listen, for everybody that's listening right now, or that's going to listen to this is a Trash Talk edition. So we are going to cover pretty much all the craziness that took place this cycle. Now that the report was out, because the last podcast we did, Flip, the report wasn't sent to the managers yet. That's why I held off. So this is a Trash Talk exclusive podcast. That's all we're going to cover. We're not going to talk about any titles or, champions or anything like that. Everything is just
dude, you got the historic one in the house. God damn it, you're going to talk about champions.
You're damn right you are.
All right.
Shoot, Flip.
What I meant to say is, aside from the champions that are part of this podcast.
Okay. Thank you for the correction, Flip.
Here you go. Sorry, I corrected myself. You're right. Thanks, Flip. Good guy, Flip.
So someone's got respect around here.
Talking about toes, yeah.
Fingers. All right, so listen, guys.
I may have to sign the Go Killer to a contract in the dynasty.
He's gonna be the honorary member.
I think he may be worthy after this conversation. I'm liking what Flip has to say.
Nice. I like it. All right, so we're gonna jump right into this, man. I'm gonna go in the order of the report just to make it a little more seamless for everybody on air right now. I'm pretty sure you guys have already read through the report. And again, there was some great write-ups this cycle. Again, this is everything happening now is post-purge. So just reading through these things, I was like, finally, the league is where it needs to be. It's gonna get better. Like Flip, like you and I touched before this podcast, everything's starting to build again. People are starting to pick their poison basically and dance partners for the cycles to come up, leading into All Out Mutiny, and then the pay-per-views after that, Femme Fatale, whichever one's come down the line, which I believe is Brimstone Brawl after that. But things are looking promising, better than I expected. So soon after the purge, so we're gonna jump right into it, man. Into Uranus was back, and Mr. Hal had none other than Mike Pizzazz. For those of you who don't know, Mike Pizzazz is part of the Crypt Keepers. They're a pretty new stable that joined us recently. They have been making some noise. They have been winning.
You know what? That's probably the best way to describe them. They're just pretty. They're just pretty.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a very flamboyant group. We're gonna get into the Crypt Keepers pretty soon. Actually, if you ask me, I think they're kind of like the WWO's version of DX. Wouldn't you agree with that, Flip? After reading what they did this cycle, we're gonna touch on. I get that DX vibe.
Well, let's not skip over into Uranus because
I wouldn't call it DX, but they got a vibe on it.
Not, they have that vibe. They have that.
They got a vibe.
They got the vibe.
I'll tell you who got a vibe is Uranus. Uranus got his vibe.
In Uranus, man. So yeah, he had Mike Pizzazz on. He was a little pissed off the Gimp wasn't there. I guess Flip, you know where the Gimp was. I don't, but he wasn't there for this show.
Oh, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about
Yeah,
that.
I'm sure we will. Uranus was Sans Gimp for this one, but he did have Mike Pizzazz on. Mike Pizzazz, started talking about his backstory with him and his brother Kabuki Dragon. Together they make the tag team called the Imports, and the Imports are part of the bigger stable, which is the Crypt Keepers, and that's Kabuki Dragon, that's Mike Pizzazz, Midnight, and Holocaust. Those four make up the Crypt Keepers. But again, as a tag team, it's Mike Pizzazz and Kabuki Dragon, and he goes on to explain how Kabuki was like the more, I guess, dominant of the two brothers, the more famous over in Japan. And Pizzazz was doing his thing out in the Mexican scene. I think he was earning like $50 a match or something like that. And he was grinding it out. He was pretty much into himself, very, didn't really speak too much. And then I guess he embraced his flamboyant side, for lack of a better word, man. And
well, I mean, he did he did go backstage with Hal, and
if I paid $50, I want my refund. Mike Pizzazz.
So yeah, he I don't know what happened at backstage, but it did seem like there was some little flirting going on there. Like, I don't know what's going on between those two, but man.
You know what? If you know Hal, as soon as he gets his hand around it, it's over, bro. He sealed the deal. You know what? I don't give a fuck what you say, bro. If he got to put his arm around him, it's over. That's it. It's over. You know what? That's just the way it goes. I mean, shit.
Boys, so very, very soon it'll be over for Hal, literally and figuratively. But we'll get to that later.
We're definitely gonna get to that. I kind of didn't sip on that one.
Just gonna give you a little taste of what's coming later.
Oh my goodness.
But so yeah,
we call that a tease in the wrestling business, people. Okay, for you cretins out there who have no clue what I'm talking about.
Right, we wet in the lips, Michael.
My patience is a virtue, one which the historic one does have little of.
Very little.
Oh, after the purge, yeah, very little. Very little patience.
I'm purging tonight. Okay.
Nice. That's what I want. So yeah, he had Mike Pizzazz on. Pizzazz is basically, I mean, he's doing his thing. He's been winning gold. Obviously, it looks like he's gunning. He kind of threw a subliminal at Hal over the Eliminator X title. I don't think he's gonna get a shot at that anytime soon. Depends on how he does. I'll keep an eye on him for that. But he's definitely promising. Anybody who comes into the league and wins titles right off the bat, you got to keep an eye on them regardless. So I'm not sure how good these guys are gonna be. If they're all talk or what, but it seems that he has a promising future on his hands if he continues to win some gold. And again, as of what happened after the show with Hal, I have no idea. Again, Flip, you might know something that I don't.
I'm just basing it on Perfecto's knowledge and experience. Just talking with Hal and just like, hey, you know what? Just you seal the deal. I mean, you seen he's gotten who? He got what's his name from Annihilation. He got what was your guy that he got? The impregnated knave.
Yes, Flip, that's exactly who you got.
Whatever his name was, they got it. He got the D. He got the D.
Yeah, they all got the vitamin D.
Oh no. The little patience I had is now gone, fellas.
There.
You're like over.
Oh yeah. So yeah, the show was great. I'm glad to have Hal back in his studio, and I'm not sure who the next guest is gonna be, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be something outrageous. It always is leading up to the pay-per-view, so I can't wait to see who's gonna have on next. But moving along, we had a debut of the Acid Bitches. These are a new female group hitting up the women's division. Not much to say about them yet, so it's gonna be one of those things to keep an eye on them. Apparently, they're being led by somebody named the Leather Nun, and she's, I guess, their mentor. And apparently these girls they're here to wreak havoc, pretty much. So again, there's not much to say about them. It's more of a debut for them, just to let them know, the rest of the women's division know that they're there and they're playing by any means necessary. So
aren't they all, Melvin? Aren't they all?
Yeah, exactly. Aren't they all
trying to take over?
You know what? They got to go through the swamp first. So if they can't get through the fucking savages, they can't go any further. So you know what? Get in line. Commissioner Melvin Mayhem has his handfuls trying to get those savages in shape and in some kind of wrestling form.
They're becoming a problem for me, man. But they're getting there. They're getting there.
Forget about get in line. How about these bitches find the line, okay?
Like words.
Moving on, Melvin. Moving on.
Moving right along. We also had actually America. She had a little bio in here, which I actually appreciated. Again, I mentioned that in previous podcasts. I actually like when a wrestler gives a background or like a little story about where they come from. A lot of managers tend to lose sight of that and give their character, a background and build. But this particular manager went ahead and did do that and gave the backstory for America. She was the former leader of Ex-America. The group is no longer with the league, unfortunately. They were part of the purge. But America decided to stick around, and she's basically going to go all... She's a baby face, put it that way. She's like the baby face of the women's division, or so she proclaims to be. I guess she's like the Bailey of the league, so, for lack of a better word. But she's going to try to make things...
All I gotta say is she was probably better off coming in saying that she got trained by Hal and Big Daddy than by Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah.
She probably, you know what? This is the Wicked Wars League. You know what? Babyface. Oh man, she better be ready to pucker up because
babyfaces don't really last too long in this league. So
babyfaces completely perish in this league.
I don't think there really is room for a babyface. It's more the lines are blurred in the Wicked Wars League. So it's one of those things. So I'm not sure how far that's gonna go. But again, it's nice to see that we do have a background here for any managers that saw the report. They'll get to know a little bit more about America. So kudos to the manager for actually doing that. I do appreciate it, regardless of what the content was. Just the fact that they were able to do that, I really appreciated that. Moving right along, Mike Pizzazz and the Crypt Keeper. So again, this is why I have a feeling they have that DX vibe. These guys come into the ring, and they came to the ring with I think it was like a tray with aluminum foil over it, and they started mocking the Flamingo Brothers. Now, Flip, we've had Wolf Tyrant on here plenty of times in the past, and the Flamingo Brothers are under his management. Flamingo Brothers are a successful six-man tag team. They did recently lose a big match against Giuliano Door Dynasty members, and it was for the Unholy Trinity Unholy Trinity six-man championships. But again, they're a competitive team. The Flamingo Brothers, Wolf Tyrant, he has those guys pretty much doing what they need to be doing to get into contention again. But the Crypt Keepers called them out. I like that. They went after, a competitive group in the Flamingo Brothers. And the Flamingo Brothers are more like, for anybody that doesn't know, they're kind of like the New Day of the Wicked Wars. Wouldn't you guys agree? That's the feeling I get from them, which is very, I like the whole vibe that they have.
And to be honest, excluding the champions, myself and Policy and Future, they're probably the gold standard of the six-man team. So you're got to go for the throat. So I can respect that.
Exactly.
Got to go straight for the jugular.
Yeah. So and I would say the other trio to throw into that mix, of course, the Stonewall Brothers, because they've been doing it up. And you could throw Annihilation Inc. in the conversation as well. But I would say those four probably. Those are like the main four. Everybody else is.
Go ahead, throw the whole fucking league in there. Why don't you? No. Fucking two.
Listen.
You gonna bring back Batman again?
It would be a
Please.
great.
Don't.
It would. Hey,
I'm getting nightmares again.
It would be a great disrespect if I didn't include Axel, Slash, and Crown in that conversation. So let's get that straight. Anybody else in that they're not part of that conversation. But again, they went after the Flamingo Brothers, and apparently they cooked the flamingo, a fucking actual flamingo, and they proceeded to carve that sucker up in front of the crowd. And they were basically just playing off the heat that they were getting, and they were having a good old fucking time eating that flamingo and sending a message directly to the Flamingo Brothers. So I'm not sure exactly how the Flamingo Brothers are going to respond to that. That was pretty, over the top, just to come out of nowhere and cook up a bird like that, especially a flamingo, which is a direct shot at them. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Flamingos retaliate after this. I'm not sure if it's going to be a physical retaliation, but I'm pretty sure they're going to have something to say next cycle about that. So I actually like that right up. The next one. Let's get into it, fellas. Goat Killer. Flip, this one's on you.
What? Did we skip one?
No, we didn't.
I thought we were going to infection. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
I gotta keep you on your toes, Flip.
Yeah, I thought I got a different itinerary. I don't know.
No, you guys. Yeah. So, hey, Goat Killer, it's on you.
What do you want me to say other than fucking, yeah, we're not signing against you, or they're not signing against you. They said, fuck what I have to say.
A refusal.
They're like, we don't care. They're like, they're going to go after the dynasty because they know who's at the top. They don't want anything to do with Larry Ass and fucking Beavis. And you know what? I just found out that Agent fucking Beavis is a girl. All this fucking time she was holding the microphone backwards. That dumbass bitch could never hear what the hell she had to say. Had to flip her microphone, help her out. Fucking sooner or later, we finally find out that she's a fucking girl. God damn it!
What did you know?
What did you know?
Well, now you know the truth, Flip. Okay, how does it feel?
Wait, Flip, do you also have a queen killer or just a go killer?
No, the Savages are taking care of all the bitches. I think the Savages are. Yeah, they'll take care of any.
Are
of the
they
bitches.
are they still in line, or are they finding the line?
Oh, the Savages are getting trained by Melvin right now, so they're getting trained
I got
into
them under
shape.
my wing.
Yeah, so
God help us all if they're under.
Starting with the hair, I got to get rid of some of the wings. So
God
I'm trying to
help us
drop down some hair just from the hair alone.
I think after this podcast, I'll be ripping the hair out of my hair.
Pretty much. Oh man! So now we're gonna get back into order. I just had to throw a curveball at you there, Flip. But so we did have the women of the infection. We had Centricity and Ariana Spooks. They recently lost to the new Dual Combat Women's Tag Team Champions, which was Snowy Chloe and Mad Maddie, the two that you love making fun of their names with. And
you know what? Slowy can blowy she can blow him.
Blowy, the heart's content. But I like the fact that they did give them the respect they needed. They pretty much
Did Snowy Blowy leave the league? Is she a part of the purge?
What? Say that again?
Did Snowy Blowy leave the league, or was she a part of the purge?
They're still the Dual Combat Champions. They ain't going nowhere. So
I just didn't see anything from them this cycle. So.
Not from them. That's why you see Ariana Spooks and Centricity.
There's a reason why they're exclusively a tag team and not in singles competition. Snowy and Blowy won't be getting any singles gold anytime soon. The Queen doesn't even know their names, for God's sake.
They're not even a flip on the radar.
Not even. I forgot they're even active in the division, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
No idea they were there. No idea they were there.
Who the fuck is Snow?
Who? Oh, love it. But so yeah, they called them out basically. They told them, listen, just because you guys won, that doesn't make you the best. So it sounds like they want a rematch. I don't think they're gonna get one. It depends on how things play out. I'm definitely gonna give another tag team a shot at the Dual Combat titles, but we're definitely gonna see how that goes. But it was nice to hear from those two this cycle. Next up, we have the conversion LOD officially, which we've been talking about it. Giuliano, you might want to touch on this, but LOD is now Dark America. They explained the reason for this. They explained the reason for it. They're becoming, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? They kind of fell victim to victim of circumstance, pretty much what's going on in America, the fact that it's corrupt, and that we've become victims of what we see in the media and what we hear, and this violence rules basically in this world we live in. So they kind of embraced that now, and they've gotten a lot darker than they were already. So they dropped the entire Legion of Darkness moniker, and now they're just completely dark as Dark America. So I don't know exactly where they're gonna go from here. How much more crazy can they get? You've seen some of the feuds they've had with Stryker and Annihilation in the past, and the things that they've done. So I don't know exactly how far they're gonna take this angle that they're going with now. But they did let us know that LOD is no longer LOD, and they are now known as Dark America. So
wait, Flip, should I be concerned now, or should I be concerned later? Let me know.
You know what? You shouldn't even raise a finger for this one, brother. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think El Más Fantástico has already. I think he mentioned somewhere around there that he's gonna go talk to the judges. Fantástico is as much of an idiot as anybody around. He has no idea that they're like the dark judges. So he actually thinks he's gonna go talk to like a judge to see how he can restore order around the Wicked Warriors League. So yeah, he has a rude awakening coming in. So
yeah, he will.
I think he's gonna try and talk to the judge about this Dark America nonsense, and one way or the other, he's gonna end up in a lot of trouble because
yeah, he's gonna be found guilty. But so yeah, moving right along. Next up, Giuliano, you want to take this Black Widow? I mean, we already know she won Fatal 4-Way.
What is there to say that this woman
Yeah,
didn't show in the middle of the ring? You try to stack the deck, Melvin, as high as you could. First with this ridiculous triple threat with Tanya, never so dangerously. And then he adds fucking this bitch, Angel of Annihilation, who couldn't even find the line, and he makes it a fatal 4-way. And Eva, who could barely limp to the ring, and she cries for her rematch, even though there's no anecdotal rematches in the WWL. But he gives it to her anyways, and then he puts in a ladder, so the Black Widow doesn't even have to get pinned or submit to lose. So she's got to be so superior. She has to eliminate each woman systematically, and that's what she did.
And she fucking did it, Giuliano. And she fucking did it.
So the Queen. So you tell fucking Susie. You tell fucking Susie to get ready for Mutiny. Because
Susie's ready. We're going to get to that. Susie's ready.
Yeah, you tell Susie.
Susie, I'll tell you this, though. Susie's not going to be a pushover. So as good as Denise is, don't do what Ruiz did to Joshua recently in the boxing world, buddy.
As Melvin knows, the Queen performs the best in the bigger spots. So the bigger the match. So this was just Taboo. This was just the main. This was just the main event of Taboo Tuesday. Wait until she steals the show again, and maybe even main events All Out Mutiny.
This is why I'm stacking the deck with her, because she always comes through. She always. It's, to me, you know what it is? It's not so much stacking the deck. It's just that I know Denise is so good that she gets bored. So in order to satisfy her quench of being the queen, I have to throw meat at her. I have to feed her.
Her cravings.
Yeah, the cravings.
She's now devoured 3 of the best women in the WWL.
Exactly. So come on, I gotta do it. That's the only way to keep her happy, man. She's not here to just fucking to have one-on-ones, man. Come on, she's better than that. You know that.
Yeah.
And look,
well, if she ever wants to get some some hair in her teeth, sign them up against the Savages in a little. We'll sign them at the Big Top. You know what?
The Queen does not partake in those.
Look, we'll invite her. We're gonna invite her to the Big Top.
To the Big Top.
She can come with Extreme Survivor. Since she is the upper echelon, she can enjoy a nice easy day at the Big Top.
Flip, she is the Big Top, Flip. You come
That's why. That's exactly why.
All joking aside, Black Widow is the gold standard of the women's division. Period. There's no way around it. Giuliano, we said it from day one, man.
You know what? Let's do this. We're gonna invite her to be the guest referee as the Savages take on Blowy and Daddy Matty.
She accepts. She fully accepts already.
There we go. So we can have a special guest referee. The Queen, and then like that. It'll sell some tickets.
Now, Melvin, did I not promise you she would make them stars? Tanya and Angel of Annihilation never looked better in their lives.
Of course, that's another thing.
They got a rub.
Gave him the rub. There you go, the rubber dub. But now let's see what they do with that. You know what I mean?
That's on them. The Queen can only do so much.
Yeah,
one of Daddy's girls eventually has got to step up onto that mic and let go of Hal's fucking penis and say something.
Yeah.
Maybe
I think. Oh, hey, that is Daddy's girl. She says, "Shut up, Flip."
Shut the fuck up.
Shut up, motherfucker. Nice.
Oh man! All right, so moving on to the next write-up, Giuliano. Here we go. Extreme Survivor.
I've been waiting.
Here we go.
We've been negotiating this for weeks. Are you ready to announce, or would you like me to?
You know what? I'm going to let you do the honors because I did the work to make it happen, to make it official. You know how we do. You pitched the match idea to me. I wouldn't have pitched it to Hal directly. Hal agreed. Everybody's agreed. It's a win-win situation for everybody involved, and I will let you do the honors of letting the WWL listeners out there know what the main event at All Out Mutiny is going to be. Take it away.
Main event, All Out Mutiny. Triple threat, career versus career, versus world title. The Extreme Survivor will challenge his older brother, the Survivor, and put both their careers on the line for a shot at the world heavyweight title. One man will lose his career, one man will walk out the world champion, and one man will walk out bittersweet, to say the least.
I don't know if the stakes get any fucking higher than that.
The biggest match in WWL history.
Absolutely.
The biggest match I'm giving Hal's career, and I'm giving Hal the one thing he hasn't won in the WWL, and that's credibility. And that's what he'll get at All Out Immunity. He'll finally get credibility and finally rub with some true legends, not some vitamin D bullshit that he's been pulling every cycle.
Did you hear that, impregnated knave?
You heard it?
I'm sure Nave heard it loud and clear.
So things, as good old JR would say, things are about to pick up around here.
Fucking right, man. And when that match was pitched to me, I was just like smiling from ear to ear, like I gotta make this happen. I gotta work my magic behind the scenes. And Giuliano, how long did it take me to make that match official after you pitched it to me?
It was relatively quick. You made it happen. I give credit where credit's due.
Minutes.
You made it happen.
Minutes.
I honestly thought I was gonna have to. My patience was gonna be tested, and you didn't test it. You got back.
Nope.
Hal stepped up to the plate.
I said, I'm gonna make this shit happen.
Hal signed the contract. He gave the commitment. So he at least stepped up. He proved he's a man. So let's see what he does now in the main event against two iconic legends, two brothers who want to destroy one another, but also their egos need the world title. So something's got to give.
I think that's going to be Hal's. That's going to be Hal's hardest challenge. I think is good. The fact that the brothers are so hell bent on destroying each other. Like, how the fuck does Hal even? How does he even cope with that, being in the same ring with two brothers that want to rip each other apart and then still try to beat one of them? I don't see it happening. I mean, again, I'm not gonna put that past Hal. He has been up there with Johnson and Uranus in the league, as far as titles go. But in this specific match itself, I don't see it, man. I see one of the brothers walking out the Nefarious champion. I think Hal's time's over. But that's just me.
But which brother is the question?
That's the question. Which brother's gonna do it?
Who's leaving?
Both of them are equally capable of pulling it off. So I can't say it's gonna be Extreme. I can't say it's gonna be the older brother. One of those two. I just know it's gonna be one of those two. I don't see how. And let me tell you something. If Hal somehow walks out with that fucking title still strapped around his dick, then he's the fucking man. That's it.
And I'll be the first
to
come
tip
on
my hat off
and say it.
You know what? That match stipulation still has me speechless, man. That's a fucking what did you call it? A barn burner? Holy shit!
That's a barn burner. That's a fucking apocalyptic nuclear strike.
Yeah, that one's fucking.
That's a big one, man. But again, everybody's in agreement. And
I'm pitching the stipulation for the match to be held inside Hell in a Cell. Maybe a submission / I quit match, but details still need to be ironed out. But I'm throwing that out there. I want this to be the most sadistic, most violent, most grueling attrition match ever.
Yes, and I think you guys would agree with me. I don't think this is one match that Hal wants to wrestle in the buff. I think he needs.
It won't end well. It will not end well because Extreme will bring the scissors again. He will be bringing the scissors.
Castrate him on the pay-per-view.
You can't do that to Hal. That's like shaving the fucking savages before fucking Taboo Tuesday. You fucking pervert. You can't just.
That is the idea, my friend.
So, high stakes or no stakes. That's how it is.
Oh, man.
So yeah, moving along. Again, the announcement. You guys heard it here first. Blockbuster announcement. The match is official. So we do have our main event for All Out Mutiny, and it's gonna be fucking amazing. So going on down the line. Next up, we have Flamingo Brothers. They did come back finally. They did have some stuff to say. They discussed their loss against your man Giuliano at the pay-per-view, giving you guys the props they deserve. And I guess trying to hold their heads high even though they did lose. Again, a loss to the Dynasty isn't that's not something that you're going to bury your head in the sand for. They put up a fight and the better team won that night, so they're going to keep pushing, keep trying. They want a shot at those unholy Trinity titles. They got to earn them, obviously, but I don't see them not earning it, to be honest. If they get back to where they were when the league started, then they could easily be in that discussion again. Right now, they're not, but again, I'm not going to put it past them. And they did mention, not by name, but they did throw a shot at the Crypt Keepers, letting them know, listen, we know you guys were going to say something about us, which, as you know, we just mentioned, they did. So both stables are on each other's radars, which is great. That means this feud is going to start. That means this feud is going to heat up. And, how far it goes from there, who knows? But now that, the Crypt Keepers burned the Flamingo on live TV, I'm pretty sure this is going to get personal real soon. Next up, we have Hell's Angels. They've been around for a while also. They've kind of been flying under the radar. And they called out my agent. And, my agent just came off a big cycle, this last cycle. And in their eyes, they wanted to face a tag team that was credible in the women's division. So they found my agents, and now we're gonna see just what they're gonna be able to do with those agents. Right now, my agents are focused on your Savages, and maybe we'll have a nice little triple threat tag team match for the pay-per-view. Who knows? Just to mix things up. But it'll be interesting to see just how serious Hell's Angels are, and that remains to be seen. But next up, Giuliano, I'm gonna let you take this one, man. You fucking verbally raped the Secret Six.
That was a castration, yes, I must admit.
Fucking bro, what the fuck?
That
was some of your best night work ever.
I was just so sick of the comments and the trolling, and I said, you know what? Let me just go for the jugular, like I said, and I've never been a reactive manager. I've always been proactive. So I was just, let me just go for it. So I put them on blast. As you pointed out, I lay down the challenge. So let them keep talking, tell them their stories, which we'll get to in a second. But whatever, talk, whine, sign the match. Let me beat you in a series, and then I can move on to people who are actually relevant in the WWE.
Exactly, and so it's funny. I'm glad you mentioned that because this is, after all this talk, I do want this to be a series. It's not going to be a one and done. I want this to be like a best of 5 or best of even 7. You remember the days I used to hold the Sinister 7 series, and
yes.
I'll be willing to do something like that back, especially for something like this. So if they're willing to dance after they reveal who they are, then we'll take it from there. But
they haven't revealed who they are yet.
Oh, they're going to. Listen, I'm playing along, man. I'm just don't shoot me.
like I said, Flip. My patience is. If you saw where my fingers are right now, it's very thin. So these people, until they sign a contract or reveal who they are, I'm just going to focus on the Dynasty capturing the world title and negotiating a new Dynasty member. If one of my survivors has to leave, I got bigger fish to fry in the Cretan 6.
I gotta agree with that. You got a lot on your plate right now, so
Oh yeah,
they're worried about these guys.
Like I said, we know the competition here is thick. I mean, obviously, if you want to, we've talked about this before. Mm-hmm. You got to get on the title page. That's plain and simple. Absolutely. I mean, you can blah 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 blah. Cool, okay.
I mean, and it's funny because there have been other leagues with some managers, which is cool. Like they're very in league where they don't even really care about the title. They're more about stories and angles. But unfortunately, the way this league has been playing, I can't even say unfortunately. It's actually fortunate because it's raised the level of competition. But you do need to get on that title page. Like if you're not, it's like you said, if you don't have a title, if you haven't made the title yet, then your credibility is kind of suspect. It makes you wonder, well, these guys can't even win a fucking regional. They can't win a TV title. They can't win a TV tag. Where are they? So
kind of suspect. They just ain't there. It just ain't there.
They're not even exactly. So until you get on that title page, you really can't take them seriously.
It's just all I hear when I hear it's birds chirping, chirp, 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 chirp. And until I see gold, it's just chirp, 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 chirp.
Like Hell's Angel, Alexis, and Raven, are they in the league yet, or are they coming?
They're in the league.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Again, there's teams you won't know because then again, like we just said, they're not on the title page. So you're not really looking for them unless they get put into a high stakes match. And again, cycle after cycle, you see I always try to mix it up and throw some spotlight on certain managers. Unfortunately, during the pre-purge and the purge, there was 2 or 3 cycles where shit just was going downhill. So I wasn't wasting time with that. So there was some time lost between those transition and those 2 or 3 cycles. But again, now that everything's back on track, I'm not even looking at that no more. I'm just looking forward. Whatever happened. You know, it's time to make. It's like you said. Now that the reset happened, you got a clean slate. It's time to bring it. And,
you know what? I've always enjoyed your title as the gold standard, and I think now that you have access to the Savages, and you know those bitches need a lot of work. Anybody that you see that's floating, you know what? Send them to the Savages, because we'll gladly we'll whip them into some kind of shape.
Oh yeah.
I may not like what shape. You should see the picture that I got, dude.
Oh, I can't wait.
Dude, I can't wait. The one that, oh man,
it's not even going. Not even quiet, bro. Quiet. No, don't say nothing.
Oh man.
Fellas, don't we have an itinerary to hold to?
That's part of my secret. That's part of my secret reveal. Only Giuliano has seen it. He knows what I'm talking about. But I'm working on something big, Flip. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Hey, okay,
yeah. Pretty fucking amazing, I will admit.
It's gonna be fucking awesome. Giuliano got a taste of it, it blew his mind, and that was just a 20-second sample. So I'm really working on something huge right now that's gonna really elevate the league in a big way. Something that's never been done, I don't think anyway, or as far as the way I'm gonna present it to the league. But anyway, I don't want to spoil anything. So moving on. Next up, we had the Dark Judges. They came out of hiding, man. Dark Judges, they've actually been active. They just haven't been talking as much. After the recent beats they had, remember, they were the ones responsible for taking out the Batman family. They were the ones responsible for taking out Ex-America. And
thank God.
And so now,
you know, the one thing I did enjoy. I mean, because we actually used some of the quote unquote portals. I mean, obviously this is the Wicked Wars. Everything goes. So
you see what happened to Dark Carnival.
Well, even in his own his own army got taken away.
They're on a fucking milk carton now.
They're probably through one of those portals, so they followed Batman and the gang around.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of portals, the portals, Annihilation Inc. became victims of those portals because in this cycle, the judges attacked Annihilation Inc. They sent a real good message. Apparently, Annihilation Inc. was backstage. And as they were walking, I think they were walking towards the ring, I believe. And, the lights started going crazy. One by one, they noticed some of their members were just disappearing until only Justin was left. Justin grabs the cameraman, like, listen, let me see the feed and see what the fuck's going on. Where is everybody? And he looks back at the feed and he sees portals opening up. And, one by one, each member of his group is just fucking disappearing until there was just him left against all the judges. And they proceeded to kick his ass, basically, and send a message saying, listen, you guys are next. We're the Ender of Stables. So right now, Annihilation Inc., you've been found guilty. So it's gonna be interesting to see if judges are gonna stick around for this and actually make this a feud worthy of covering. I would hope so. But we'll see where it goes, man. We already know what Annihilation Inc. is capable of. They're already a proven stable. Dark Judges not so much. As far as the angles, the stories, hell yeah. But when it comes to again, like we just said, winning titles and getting more relevant, that hasn't happened yet. But I'm not gonna put it past them to do so. So.
Oh, I already told you, dude. Fantastico is gonna go looking for the judges, so I see good things coming for the judges.
Exactly. Next up, we had Justin Kyle. Unfortunately, he did have some choice words for the now again former LOD, now Dark America, because they did have their final matchup. It was a series matchup, one-off in the Turnbuckle Thursday, and Dark America actually beat them. It was a clean sweep. We covered it in the last podcast. So this is the second time they did it on Turnbuckle Thursday, where we did a best of three, and they won't pretty much ran the table against AI. So again, even though they're not hitting the title page as much, they have within Dark America, they do have champions. They do have people that have hit the title page multiple times. Like I can mention one off the top of my head, Minister of Fate. He's a 4-time champion already. Just people don't realize this because he's not involved in as much storylines. But I could sit here and actually run off on an entire list of championships that they have won within their stable, between Miss Eva Danger, between Minister.
Look, just like Agent Beavis, unless they can turn that mic around and say something.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. So again, we're gonna see now that everything's been ironed out and the league is moving forward. We're gonna see if they're all if they're
boys.
Really
everyone's got a place on the card, boys. Everyone's got a place.
Exactly. Yep. So moving on. Next up, Sexy Kitten. She's actually a new roving reporter for the female division. She had an interview recently where she interviewed the 3 people that were facing your Black Widow, Denise Destiny. So she did have Tanya Dangerously, Miss Eva Danger, and Annihilation, Angel of Annihilation on the show. Which I actually enjoyed that, the fact that they were, getting the competitors involved and giving them some
it was quite enlightening, the delusions these women had.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you proved it at the end of the day. Denise came out on top, so it was like kind of a foregone conclusion at that point. But
Yeah,
again,
she started off with a big old oxymoron at the beginning. She said
oh,
Korean
right,
beauty. It's like,
right, right,
Korean beauty? There's no such
right
thing.
away. Oh, that's a good one. But so yeah, they had some stuff to say obviously for the Black Widow, and there's no shortage of history on that as far as how the women's division feels about Denise. But again, that's she's the queen until you take that belt from her. It doesn't matter what you say at this point. But apparently the main point that I can take from this interview was that it appears that Tanya E. Dangerously and Miss Eva Danger have reconciled, and they are back. I believe it's going to be Danger Corp once again, and they did proceed to go ahead and attack Angel of Annihilation. So there was some friction there. Maybe that's why Angel didn't perform the way she said she was going to perform. But again, no excuses. Denise, basically kicked their asses at the Fatal 4-Way, and it is what it is. So moving on. Next up, we have Mr. Siggs. He's the manager for the Lightning Kings. This is a group I actually like. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do here. Lightning Kings are journeymen, kind of like Kabuki Dragon is, which we touched on the last podcast, Flip. I'm pretty excited to have these. I believe they were part of the CCL, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but they have come over here, and they're coming for those tag titles. So again, it was a short promo, but they kept it short and sweet. We're here, we're coming for some gold, and we're looking to get it. So let's see if they can do that. It's one thing to say it, another thing to actually pull it off. Moving on, we had a sneak attack. Again, formerly LOD, now Dark America. They actually attacked Justin Cal after the podcast that I had with him, and they proceeded to send a message to Justin. I guess that was a prelude to what was going to happen on Turnbuckle Thursday. And again, I can't say enough that as much as Justin was trying to make it seem like this wasn't going to be like it was going to be a walk in the park, basically against them. They stepped up, man. I gotta give it to them. They stepped up and they took them out, and they won that feud twice. So it's no denying who the better stable is between those two right now. So kudos to them for doing what they did, and that feud is over now. Again, each group can move on to another feud, and that's exactly what's going to happen next.
Now shout out to this this manager for referencing obviously the off the fourth wall stuff and the podcast and everything. I mean that shout out just to bring it all together and bring it back.
Dude, I love that. When I saw that, I was like, I like that. They actually fed off the fucking podcast. I was like, oh shit, okay. So I made it entertaining. Again, there's ways to incorporate things that are going on in the league, and I actually like that aspect as well. So I found that quite entertaining. Next up, we had Man Killer. Man Killer's been around for a while. Flip, this is even from before when I think we threw in a match with Pierre the Strongman when Dark Carnival was around. We were feeding her to the dogs off the bat. So Man Killer has been she's been flying under the radar. She has won gold before, and now is in her write up. She was basically saying the purge is set. All these other groups are gone now. Dark Syndicate's gone. Ex America's gone. And she doesn't want her 15 minutes of fame. She wants the whole spotlight. So it looks like she's going to come after Denise. But again, until you prove yourself, you're not going to be on Denise's radar, to be honest. So let's see where it goes. Let's see if she can back up the talk. We'll see what happens. Get in line. Next up, we have my agents. Agent Envious send a message to your savages. It looks like your savages got a bottle crack over their heads for talking shit. And they ended up in that Taboo Tuesday, matchup, and my agents did beat the Savages. Maybe it's because they were already fucking drunk off whatever they were drinking at that bar, but they did get beat. And Envious sent the message that this is far from over, Flip. So this shoot is just beginning with these Savages. So I don't think you need to be worrying about Snowy Chloe and Doughy Blowy.
Oh, dude, you know what? I'm glad that Beavis spoke up. Because now she's one step beneath the Savages is where I have her. I don't give a fuck if she beat me once. Like, get the fuck on. Come on now.
Oh shit.
Come on now. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. Like I said, I'm glad you signed the match. I'll sign the next one. That's it. We'll keep it going.
That's it. That's how you gotta do it. See, are you managers listening? That's how you do it, man. Have fun with the shit. Next up, we had Natalia 23. She discussed the Secret Six. So she gave a backstory on the Secret Six. I know you're waiting for this one, Giuliano.
Oh boy, did she ever give a backstory. Her convoluted essay she sent in.
So
that she passes over as a promo.
Yeah, so I'm basically gonna try to condense this because this was a long one, and I guess Giuliano, you could jump in whenever you want, but again I'm just trying to explain this shit in layman terms. But basically, Natalia was an understudy Believe it or not, Dawn and Denise Destiny. For those who don't know, Dawn is Denise's sisters. They had a tag team over in the NBL, very credible team. They were like, those two. To be honest, outside of Denise on her singles run together, those two were probably the best tag team in the NBL at the time. But they were training her, and there was some friction between Denise Destiny and Natalia because Natalia was getting kind of close with Dawn. They started doing tag teams on their own. At one point, I do believe, Giuliano, you stepped in and you were kind of saying, again, this is allegedly, I'm gonna put this out there, allegedly went in there and said that you didn't want them, being tag teams anymore, but they went ahead and did it anyway. And then at one point, they were leading up to a pay-per-view to defend their tag titles at the time, and Dawn ended up disappearing. Nobody knows where she was going, where she was at. Apparently, the dynasty, for good reason, obviously, they thought that she was the one behind it. So they proceeded to have the crowd, the entire arena, just turn their back on Natalia. I guess she was the face at the time. Yeah, they were spitting on her, booing her out the fucking arena. She ended up getting arrested. Eventually, the charges were dropped. But there's no proof that she was behind it.
Melvin, we dictate the narrative. We tell you what we want you to know, and now that bitch Natty is the one who took out Dawn, and now she's gonna pay.
Well, there you go. There you have it, guys. So apparently, again, I said allegedly because I don't know the whole story. I didn't want to go and say it was fact.
The whole story will unveil itself there. When it's time on our time. And the next chapter will begin when we say it begins, Natty, if you're listening. And any other things, they could sign that contract. The Cretan Six and the rest of the jokers over there.
There we go. You guys heard it here. Again, it was a pretty big backstory, but I think I summed it up pretty good as far as condensing it to a more listenable format.
You're a saint for doing so tonight.
You're very welcome.
Now, I mean, that's a lot of writing for not even being in the league yet. I mean,
I'm still waiting for my first match. I'm still the ink has been dry for months.
I mean, shout out to the big buildup, but dude, this has been 3 cycles now. Come on in, come on.
Let's dance. As they say, let's dance.
I mean, I'll tell you this though. I mean, and I'm gonna say this now. If this does end up playing out and become something competitive, then I'll come back to these 3 cycles where they were building this up, and then I'll say I like that they did that. You know what I mean? Because they were doing it purposely. Saying let's build it up first, and then they actually stick around and make a fucking series out of it. If that plays out like that, then okay, fine. I get why you did what you did. But if you don't do that, then it's like, for what? Why did you waste your time? Why did you waste our time? Basically.
And
let's see how it goes.
And there's a big if. I'll throw this out. If they win a series against us, I'll put something real on the line in the rematch. I'll give them something worth a rematch for. But let's get a signature, get in the fucking ring, sign a match, and then we'll go from there. Because this is getting ridiculous.
And listen, I'm going to do what I can on my end to try to make this happen and bring it about and make this shit official. Hopefully, maybe I can set something up for the pay-per-view. You would think by then, obviously, something will transpire. But, there's only so much I can do on my end. But let's see what happens. Let's give it a cycle. And hopefully, this cycle coming up, we finally get the reveal and we move forward from there. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.
Yeah, man, you cut the umbilical cord already, man. No more bibs, no more bibs, no more suckers. Dude, done.
Yeah, stop with the binkies, no.
Trim the fat. Trim the fat.
Just let hey, everyone's a big boy. Sign your matches, sign your series, step on up to the plates.
Let's do it. So next up we had Skyblade the Tiger King. Basically was talking about his match preparation for Hal Uranus, because again, like you guys know, he did have his big chance against Hal Uranus. Unfortunately, he came up short. Again, Skyblade, he's a reputable fighter. He's been around for a while. Giuliano, you know him very well as a fighter. Well. So that's the reason I brought him here. So I would never say anything. I would never have anything bad to say about Skyblade Tiger King. He's a very, very high level competitor, whether he wins or not.
Yeah.
Did have his shot.
You know what? I mean, not to be on anyone's jock or whatnot, but this guy can write. Like, I mean, you nail it. I mean, it just flows. I mean, I was kind of hoping the Sword of Destruction chopped off But
yeah, I was
I
hoping
guess
for
that
it. I guess
that's why
that's
Survivor had a great time feuding with him in the old ECL days. It was a pleasure for what the feud we had.
oh yeah.
I had my
Yeah, I
feud with
mean,
him. It was
and,
great, just the back and forth, and loved it.
and I got to point out, I did negotiate Extreme to sign a match against Blade because he was the number one contender,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to see if Extreme won, which he did, and that's when I pulled the trigger on the challenge.
Exactly.
And,
That's kind of what snowballed into the whole, main event we have now.
nice.
Yeah. So
that's what. Did you hear that, people? Yeah, I signed a match. I negotiated a contract to further my man's career.
Clip, you
Cretans
like that,
listening.
huh? So that's how you do it. That's how you get it done, man. Or you come to me, you pitch the match. I try to do something behind the scenes, and I make it happen like I did for that match. So there's ways to do things, people. So listen up. Next up, we have Mistress of Pain, Susie Sweet. Basically, she's ready for Mutiny. She didn't give a fuck who was coming out of that title match, ready to do it. And again, she's ready. She wants Denise. I'm not gonna put it past her. To be honest, I'm gonna say this right now. I think Susie's the one
Is
to
she?
take that title.
Is she really?
I
Like the three broads you thought were going to take the job done in the ladder match.
No, I never said I thought they were going to take it. I've been saying Susie's the threat from the last three cycles. She's the one you got to watch.
Little Susie, huh?
Susie, sweet Susie. Be careful, Denise.
Susie.
She's the mistress of pain. So let's see what happens. So she's gonna have a chance. Listen, again, if she wins, then she could talk all the shit she wants. If she loses, then she's just another fucking
another bitch in the back of the line.
That's it.
Send her down to the savages. Put her in the zoo.
Oh,
put her in the zoo.
Oh shit. So next up, we have Vicious Vinny Valentino. I really like this guy. He's he's already won a few titles since he's been here. He's kind of a mentor to the Flamingo Brothers. We've touched on this before, but when I had Wolf Tyrant on the podcast, but he's ready for his match also. He's number one contender for the Wicked Wayward title, and again he was coming off a back-to-back Gun Belt of Hell title reign that me and you Flip covered. One of my agents took it off him this cycle, but it was a hard-fought match, and he didn't win it easily. So, kudos to Vicious Vinny. Anytime, that goes for any manager in this league. If you can hold on to a belt for multiple cycles in a row, that shows that you're ready to play in this league. And Vicious Vinny Valentino, he did that. He won the Gun Belt of Hell. He defended it the very next cycle, and he almost did it a third cycle. So, kudos to him. He did earn this title match against Big Daddy. But listen, we said it in the last podcast. Right now, Big Daddy Johnson is still undefeated. Since day one, he's been in this league. He's been winning gold. He's been winning league titles. He's been winning titles left and right. He's the Wicked Wayward champion, and he has not been beaten, which is fucking mind-boggling in a league that has this much fucking competition to say that your main guy has still not lost once. That's fucking crazy. So I think Vinny Valentino, he has his work cut out for him. And if he can pull off this win, let's just say that's assuming that Big Daddy is still undefeated when the pay-per-view comes along, which is 2 cycles from now. That'll be a huge fucking win, and that'll catapult Vicious Valentino to the top of the, basically, I would put him up there like the top 5 in the league easily if he pulls that off. Maybe top 3.
Since we're making predictions, because you predicted Susie was going to pull the upset of the year. Well,
yeah, that's the only one I made.
I got a little prediction. I'm going to predict an upset, and Valentino dethrones Big Daddy. And ends Big Daddy's dominance.
Right.
That may even be a spoiler. May not even be a prediction, but we'll see.
He definitely has the credentials and the ring awareness to pull it off, man. Because if anybody's gonna do it, it's Vicious Vinny, and that's the reason why I gave him this title match. He definitely earned it, and let's see what he does, man. He's got the chance to take out the big dog, so. Hopefully he doesn't get caught up with Daddy's girls and gets distracted at ringside. But if he keeps his head in the game, he could definitely walk out with the Wicked Wayward Championship that night. So let's see what happens. Next up, Flip. I'm gonna let you take care of these. We got some write-ups here from Miss Tina Lovestick. You mentioned her last write-up. Please. Explain to the listeners who
is she active?
Love Stick is.
No, she's the new ringside assistant right there for Perfecto.
She's like the car girl.
Oh.
Yeah, she's just.
She's gonna walk around with a fucking finger poster.
You know what? She's like the mouth of the South, only in a different version.
I must have missed this one, fellas.
Oh yeah, you'll see it. He's there. Just look for Love Stick. After that one, we also had again. I'll let you take this one. Flip. Por La Paz finds Batman. That one was an eye opener.
Please don't find him, please. Bring him back into the portal. Bring him back into the portal.
You got some explaining to do, Flip.
Oh.
Can we not find him now?
Well, it's just
Flip.
I'm just, hey, you know what? Last podcast or a podcast, 2 podcasts ago, you were all excited. You were all excited about your victories and
put him back with the Panama City boy.
Oh, so good old Incredible. Pretty much had a talk with Fantastico about that damaged mask that Perfecto had on when his accident happened. And for some reason, Mr. Incredible, really liked that mask, so he just washed it and still wanted to rock it. So, Fantastico said, he was kind of messing with him. Well, if you find Batman, you can keep the stupid mask. And never thinking that he was gonna go fucking find Batman, and I don't think Batman's gonna survive. I don't think.
God help us.
Yeah, so I guess he's gonna use Batman's help to go look for the impassive naive, and then
I just saw Spider-Man on the corner asking for help.
Don't step on him.
Oh yeah, so somehow, some way, him and the impassive naive are gonna have a battle, and then
Wait, naive is actually gonna entertain this?
This is his fucking name, first of all. You're fucking naive. Oh man, it's the impassive name, Flip.
Yeah. Right. When did that matter? We've reached this low of a point, and you're talking about the pronunciation of his name.
The fuck did that happen?
If that's what you're worried about, Melvin, you're in bigger trouble.
Yes, I am. You don't mispronounce his goddamn name.
Hey, Incredible, no speako too well. That's Incredible. No.
Yeah, right. Moving right along.
A smooth transition, Melvin.
Yeah, good transition. So the next things up were pretty much cheap shots. we had a cannibal cheap shot that you had.
What?
Which I love.
I love Mr. Good. You know what? Mr. Goodbar is always going to be here for a nice little shot at your nuts, homie. Because
I fucking love it.
He's like, go get him. The irritated anal.
Yeah, I saw that shit out. I was dying. I was like, how the fuck does he do this shit? We also had the Savage makeover, so it looks like they're getting ready for
you know what? That pumped them up. Didn't the irritated anal win a fucking belt this cycle?
Hey, yeah. He did. He hit the fire under their ass. Yeah, he did.
Oh yeah.
He
must have seen that poster.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we had the Savage makeover. So it looks like they're getting ready for their match. They're shaving some of the 10 pounds of hair off, which is good to see.
Classy, bro.
There's some big ass bitches though, bro. You gotta admit that.
Huge.
The Queen's looking for an enforcer going to her big match.
Oh man.
Oh lordy.
You know what? I think the unholy one would still try and suck a nipple, as hairy and as. I take that as a yes.
No comment. All right, so we had Hal had a cheap shot at me, fucking guy. I love the cheap shot that Hal threw at me. It's just fine. I told him, give me my poster back. He keeps hanging it over his fucking wall.
There's your new poster. There's your poster.
That's the new poster.
I don't think you want the poster back.
I don't want it back. I just want it down. It's down already.
He went through your pants, bro. He didn't even bother to take them down, bro. He just
fucking guy. And then last but not least, to close out the trash talk, we had the finger. And I fucking love this dude. When I saw that picture, I said, this guy is a fucking genius. That was my favorite fucking. It wasn't even a write up. It was just an image, and that was the best thing to put at the end of this report. I loved it. Everybody beware of the finger. If you haven't heard the last podcast we did with Big Daddy, go check it out.
If you're wondering how he got pink eye, he was already, he already had his eye, kind of irritated, and he goes and rubs it with that finger. Oh, dude. Over. Yeah, dude, he ended up with a 469 this side. 469? 439?
Couldn't find him. Where was he? I couldn't find him.
Yeah, man, he did bad, brother. He did bad.
I thought he was one of the 20 scrubs in the league.
Hey, you guys kid, but at least he could sign a fucking match.
You got it. Absolutely. I like that.
They still managed some tag wins. I was like, holy shit, how the hell?
How to do that? I don't know.
Flip, silver linings. Silver linings.
Always a silver lining.
Oh, yeah, that's what I wanted to mention. Fucking stop signing against my character. Who the hell is signing? If you're signing, say something. Stop fucking getting losses by signing against my characters. Fucking judges.
Hear that, judges? Stop doing that shit.
We don't even have a belt. Why the hell are you coming after us? Like, geez, go after some regionals or some shit. If you want
don't. He's telling you don't sign the contract. I'm telling you to sign the contract.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, sign it, but add some lines or some trash talk. Let me know you're gonna try and come at me, so I know.
Let him prepare. Let him get ready.
I'm not Hal Uranus. I don't like it from behind.
Something.
Yeah,
you want it to mean something, for God's sakes.
Yeah, man. It's
like, have some substance.
They think I'm Hal Uranus and like it from behind. I'm like, no, I don't like it. Just like, nah, dude.
Oh shit. But yeah, this is the Wicked Wars for you people. So again, this was a great fucking cycle as far as the trash talk. Only because we're starting to get back to the way we were in the beginning. You guys were there from the beginning. You know how it was. We always had a lot of trash talk coming in, which I love. When you have a lot of trash talk, that means the league is thriving. That means, the managers are engaged, and we had a lot of that. Whether, some of the write-ups are great or not, that's up for debate.
That's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah, that's how, if reading long, drawn-out trash talk's your cup of tea, there was some of that. If you like short, to the point ones, there was some of that. If you like some great storytelling.
you got the point there.
If you like brilliant promos, you had some of that.
Oh, yeah.
There was some really, really great. If you like the creative, like very, like the more elaborate ones, like Skyblade is more your flavor, things like that. There was a lot of everything for everybody. So I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed putting this report together. And I mentioned it in a few podcasts before that. I said, listen, when you guys give me stuff, I'll give you a great report. And I feel I managed that this time. I kind of got back on my horse and showed you guys, this is what I'm capable of. And it's only going to get better, obviously, leading up to the pay-per-view. I'm going to have some great ideas for this next cycle. I have some great ideas for the YouTube channel. In case you guys forgetting, it's Wicked Words YouTube channel. Again, Wicked Words. Just type that in and you'll be able to find our channel and catch all the podcasts we've been doing. There will be some times where I, do joint.
Hey, say it like it is, dude. Don't be a dick. Just subscribe and subscribe. You'll get the little.
Real. You get the little notifications. Okay. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like one of those guys, but yeah, do those three things.
Help
a brother out. Help a brother out. No, but let me tell you something. When I review what I'm doing, I have a feeling that the subscriptions are going to start going up. That's all I'm going to say. You're going to like this flip.
You'll be how are subscriptions going to start going up? This is a non-existing radio station, man. Come on now.
But listen, don't be one of those douchebags who listens to the podcast and doesn't like or subscribe.
Yeah, you got to do something. Don't just fucking watch it and just sign off. Like, come on. If you're watching it, that means you got a goddamn account. Fucking subscribe. And if you don't have an account, create one just to subscribe so you can exclusively get those freaking podcast alerts. You see, now I start to do the premiere one, so I kind of give you guys a heads up when it's going to come on. You can always
why you bullshit in terms of those premieres? Those shits are pretty cool because they actually let you comment live. So
yeah, exactly. Do live chats. You guys to start getting in there and then saying what you want to say before the podcast or as it's airing, because it does show it live when it comes on. But again, if you do join in and you catch it midway, you can always rewind it. It always goes back to the beginning, and then So I don't want people thinking if they come in and they see it's already halfway through that they missed out. No, just rewind the fucking thing. It takes you back. But again, I do like that feature that you can, chat and you can. Eventually, I want the league to get to that point where people be able to do that and get more engaged like that. I think that'll be more fun. Also, there's always that availability there. Just haven't really used it yet. But we'll see. It's one video at a time, one podcast at a time. We'll get there. The league is still young. I have a lot of great ideas. And again, when I show you guys what I'm working on, I'm gonna blow the fucking hinges off this league with what I'm doing right now. It's gonna take some time, but oh my god, is it gonna be worth it? Again, Flip is really because of you. I'm gonna say this right now. What I'm about to reveal for this league is because of you, Flip. So thank you. I'm telling you right now, thank you for exposing me to this kind of aspect of the game. Because before you, I didn't know anything about the YouTube channels or doing these podcasts.
It's definitely Flip inspired. It's definitely
Flip inspired. Absolutely. I give all the credit to Flip on this one. All of it, Flip. It's completely yours. So when you guys see this, even though I did it, it's because of Flip. So give him the props, not me.
Nice. Now I can't wait. Talk about being on my toes.
Be on your toes and your fingers because you're gonna love this one.
Nice.
Again, it's taking time. It's something I don't want to rush it either because it is. All I'm gonna say is it's pay-per-view related. That's it. So I still have 2 cycles. I don't want to rush.
Melvin, no one knows this more than me. You can't rush perfection. You can't rush perfection.
Again, you see, Giuliano, you've seen what I'm doing. Again, I gave you a little taste, a little sample. That's nothing. What I showed you was like a rough fucking sandpaper draft.
It's like what the Queen gave you in the Fatal 4-Way. What she's capable of. You hear that,
till the end.
You fucking cunt, Susie. You heard that?
Wolf Tyrant, I hope you hear it. You gotta send that message to Susie if she's not hearing this right now.
Subscribe, you bitch.
Subscribe, god damn it. But so yeah, I mean, you guys see it was a great cycle, a lot of action going on, a lot of stuff leading up to the pay-per-view. This cycle coming up, I'm actually gonna have the final pay-per-view card. Or that includes all the undercards. I'm trying to get everybody involved in this one. Even some that for lack of better words shouldn't be in the pay-per-view, but they'll be on the undercard, so it won't really matter. And is there anybody that knows me knows I call my undercards the proving grounds for a reason, obviously. If you can win in there, then that means that there's hope for you. And maybe we can do something with you if you can win a big match on a pay-per-view.
And if you can't win there, come to the Big Top.
And go to the Big Top, or go to the NJL, or any one of those other...
yeah. One of those New Japan leagues.
You're sending them through the portals. You're sending them
to the fucking portals with Batman and Robin.
And you can end up in whatever fucking league you want. It's just not gonna be here. Yeah, I mean, before I end this podcast, any of you guys want to add anything? Flip, I'll let you go first. Any words you want to add before we sign off?
Nah, dude. I think we covered everything. I would just say, like I said, tell Agent Beavis, and I even forgot the other one's name.
They hear you loud and clear. Don't worry. They're hearing you through me, so go ahead.
Well, whatever her name is. Just, the hairy bitches are coming for you. Was it? Oh, that's who it was. It was Lord Larias and Agent Beavis. No, it wasn't Agent Beavis and Larias. It was the other one. What was the other one? What's your other fucking...
This fucking guy loves the name shit.
What the...
Oh man, that's just hysterical. Flip, I was to tell you, I got you on the air. What happened to my little fucking? Weren't you gonna make like an avatar be with a fucking arrow pointing to me, try to make fun of me? It's like, where was it? I didn't see that.
I thought the fucking irritated anal was more than enough. I was like,
okay, all right.
Yeah, I thought I was going already. Yeah. The arrow one will come next. Yeah, but
I was like, where the fuck am I?
Well, you know what? You saw yourself with Hal. That was you, isn't that you?
That was kind of drastic, but yeah.
Hey,
playing out Hal's fucking house's hidden desires.
Hey, now, hey.
He needs to worry about that.
I think Hal was trying to, he was a little pissed off that Big Daddy's back-to-back champion, so I think he just wanted to take it out on you.
Maybe. I just had to be the victim, right? Damn it. That's all right. I'll talk to him off air. That's okay. Oh man. So Giuliano, the historic one. Any last words you want to add before we sign off? Any words you want to throw out to any particular managers or groups? Say what you want to say now.
Well, speaking of Hal, let's just say his misery's only begun. And let's talk about All Out Mutiny. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be historic. But what I can promise you, and Melvin knows this. It's only actually the beginning of what's to come, Dewey. Very unholy situation about to erupt in the WWL.
Yep.
But it's something.
We let the water simmer.
We're simmering. It's simmering right now.
That's it. So anybody that doesn't know what's happening,
I'll leave you at that. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
That's a nice way to end this. So again, all the managers out there, I want to thank you for tuning in. Again, like we mentioned earlier, don't just listen to these podcasts. Please subscribe to this channel. Please hit the like button, hit the little bell for notifications. I will be sending you guys the podcast links with the premieres again to give you guys time so ahead of time when the podcast is going to drop. It's not going to be a surprise, so you can actually plan for it. If you have some free time in your day and you can set aside half hour, an hour to listen to it live, then that'll be even better. But if not, it's fine. You can always go back to it and watch it, whenever you have some downtime. But I'm definitely trying to support this channel. I definitely want to have a lot more content on here. I have some more ideas I want to start doing with the channel. But so far, I just want to thank all the managers that have gotten on here. There are some managers I'm working on getting in the future still. Some new managers are coming into the league. I'm not going to say who they are. Obviously, never do. But I am working on some new contracts coming into the league. I'm going to hope to get them on air also and get some feedback and, basically let them know what they're in for, because this is, again, like you guys know, this league is not for the faint of heart. So I'm going to remind them they need a thick skin to be here. So as always, guys, I want to wish you guys a very, very wonderful night. Thanks for joining me on this podcast. Until the next one, guys. Take care.
Peace out.
Like.